expect 8, Pagani.
Oh.
Okay, guys and girls, welcome back to FTRL for another round, or another set of rounds of the GT2 Championship on Gran Turismo Sport. Sorry for the slight delay, we was just sorting out a few bits and pieces with regards to the lobby settings and whatnot. Plenty of stuff to go through tonight, quite a, well, two very different tracks for this evening's events, but joining me once again is my old mate Pagani. Good evening, mate.
Good afternoon.
How are we?
Not too bad. I survived going outside earlier, so
yeah, about the only one. We're about the only one, I think, at the minute. Right, so down to business. Obviously, last week we had a couple of cracking races, didn't we? We had the Red Bull Ring, followed by Fuji in the first kind of events of Gran Turismo Sport GT2.
Seeing something. We have the look who's stuck in the pit lane.
Yeah, he's stuck in the pit lane, just keeps spinning around. Yeah, well-known glitch. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I think he's sorted now. Oh no, he's not. Might get there eventually. Okay, right, let's go through the track. So first of all, we have the Group 4 race at Blue Moon Speedway. So it's essentially just an oval. So it's pretty much anybody's fair game tonight, I think. I think it's more, this race is completely and utterly down to strategy, isn't it? And using your brain.
It is indeed. Fuel goes down very quickly around here, and the more you can save in a slipstream, the better it's going to be for you.
Right, exactly. And then you've got well, like I said, I mean we've done a race around here before in FTRL, and it was very eventful. You'll see a lot of changes to the lead. You'll see a lot of tactics being played. Slipstreams extremely important. I mean, at the moment, The famous Goy Carp is on pole.
He is indeed, I've just seen that.
We'll go through, obviously, the runners in just a second, just kind of trying to get my bearings a little bit. But yeah, do you want to, just whilst I sort out a couple of bits and pieces, do you want to run us through the kind of tactics and what we should expect at Blue Moon? I know, obviously, you know this game very well, and a track like this is quite difficult to master. And that sounds a bit stupid, but there's different keys to success here, I think.
There is indeed. I mean, as you'll know, I mean, you're a well-known streamer now, and you've streamed some races around here in the past. No, it's all about looking after your fuel. Like, the less time you spend in pit lane, the better. If you can make the race with one less pit stop to everybody else, you're going to win the race, plain and simple. But I mean, a lot of these cars are quite thirsty, so do you want to be the one guy out front leading the pack? Probably not. Really, you want some slipstream, so guy out the front who's going to lead the pack away. Is it going to be going kart? That's the question. I mean, everybody wants to see him start from the front.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, a couple of absentees we've got for this evening. So we are missing Dark Bolt, who's having just some internet issues, unable to join this session. The same with Robbo or Robo, or however you want to say it. He's had some issues connecting, and we're missing Tej as well. So we're down to 13 for the season, which is still a good number for GT. Obviously, full capacity 16. So just a few missing. So right, at the moment, on pole position and in second, we've got the two Mercedes drivers of Max and Goy Carp. So like I said, tonight it literally is a case of anybody can win this as long as they get this right. Qualifying is all about slipstream and just making sure you nail the corners and lose as little time as possible. And that seems very, very obvious, but in an oval it's so important you don't squeal the tyres too much or change your direction too much. It's got to be as flowy as possible, isn't it? There we go, Max. Wow.
He's a tenth and a half quicker than anyone else, which is quite a gap.
He's flying. So we've got the two Mercedes of Max and Goy on the front row. Then we've got the Kit Kat fueled Lexus of Lennon in P3, who's had a good couple of opening rounds last week. Then we've got Ross in the pits in the Mazda Atenza. And then we've got Nexus Cat in P5, and last week's winner and championship leader at the moment, Cornelius, in P6. Unsafe release in the Mazda in P7, with Zombie in P8. He's currently towing his teammate along. Hopefully there's no contact between these two. And then we've got Coandy in P9, and with Deluxe, our newest driver, down in P10. Unfortunately can't get out to set a lap. He had the glitch. Then we've got Nexus Iceman in P11, and then we have got the two rivals of FTRL Switchback and onto the podium in 12th and 13th respectively. And onto the podium, still can't find any time in that Aston Martin.
What is it? Currently onto the podium is dying slightly, so he may use that as an excuse later on, I'm not sure. But
yeah, I mean, from what I understand, he's feeling a bit better now. But right, let's have a look at the old live timings very, very quickly. So it's currently, well, from 1st to 12th there is a second separating them, but overall it's fairly close between the top 6, and then there's a bit of a gap to unsafe release in 7th. Just for those, if we go onto this screen, so obviously we can see the tyres which are being used, so racing soft, super soft and whatnot. Obviously the gap to the leader, what the last lap was, and this red bar that's going up here is how far these people are around their current lap. So Lennon is about to cross the line to finish a lap in just a second, as is Goy. So that gives you a better understanding as to what's going on. Yeah. So there we go. We've got the track monitors up. There's plenty of things for us to look at. Keep the comments coming in. Say hello to us and whatnot.
We've had a certain comment from Mr. Joe Burns, who's a well-known Euro Truck simulator. He streams on Twitch now and takes things very seriously.
Yeah, oh god, yeah, loves it.
So onto the podium won't get onto the podium.
Yeah.
Which is there basically just to trigger corner, which I quite like. Absolutely.
Well, going into this evening, I mean, like I said, I don't know what to expect. Any one of these drivers could win this race. Like I said, if you what would you say is the keys? What people have got to do during? I know you said obviously looking after your fuel and whatever else, but in what sort of context, what would you do if you was these people in this race? What would be your strategy for this race?
I'd try and be the quiet guy, the guy that nobody sees, just dragging on to the back of the slipstream train.
Yeah.
And then just run your own race. Don't, like, obviously you can go up the inside of people, don't worry about it. Like, first stint, just save that fuel. It's all you have to worry about.
Yeah.
The shorter time you're in the pit lane, the better.
Exactly. I think like I said, it's all about getting your fuel bang on, because like I said, it's one of these situations where you will be fine for the race. Sorry, I was just telling Diluc that he'll be. It's just a pit stop glitch.
I mean, we're hoping it is. I have seen Michael have it before, and he wasn't able to move his car off the grid. So
well, let's hope so. But yeah, I mean, so typically you want to be sitting obviously with the front runners, but you don't want to be the lead car. Like I said, it's going to take a couple of very brave individuals to take the lead on this race. You want to short shift as much as possible.
Max is even quicker.
Max is flying. Got all these guys here onto the podium.
Mazda in the P2.
There we go, Mazda with Coy. He's had a complete slipstream there from Nexus Cats. Yeah, Goy Carp, can he do much? Has he got any tow at all? I don't think he has.
Nope, Ross has got no fuel whatsoever. So that was his last lap.
There we go. But no, you want to be sitting with the front pack, and just sort of getting a tow along, short shifting as much as possible and as early as possible, just to save all of that fuel. Like you said, the lowest amount of time that you're in the pits, the better, especially into that final, your final run, your final stint of the race. Minimising time. Yeah. So you got any dark horses for this evening? Obviously, you've got race one. It could be literally anybody. So I'm going to ask you to. I'm going to ask you to pluck 3 names out of the air for a podium tonight in this first race. Let us know in the stream as well. It's an oval, so like I said, there's no, you know, the only tactics there are is how good people are at fuel saving and being smart, essentially. So let us know what 3 people you think are going to be up there tonight.
It's very difficult to look past Cornelius. He looked very good last week. And this one is quite good on its fuel by itself, so I'm going to say he's going to be the Lennon. I mean, will he save fuel? Probably not, because he's got nothing between his ears. He'll just go flat out,
yeah,
no matter what the circumstance. And then I'm going to say Max.
Well, onto the podium's jumped up to P9, only 7 thousandths off of Untable. We've got 20 people watching again, so thank you all very much. It would, I don't want to be too much of an annoyance or a problem, but if you was to please like this, what that does is that helps us, and we can ensure to places like GT Planet and say that our streams are quite popular, and then they'll end up advertising them on there, because I've been speaking to them a little bit. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, that would be much appreciated. But yes, final classifications were there. Max does take pole, so he has a 2-point advantage going into this race, as we are getting ready for round number 3 of the championship. So Max and Goykarp on a front row. Sorry, no, in the front 3. There we go.
And Goy missed last week's races.
He did.
We're looking for an earliest opportunity to claw back some points.
Thank you. We've had 7 people like that out of the 20 so far, so that's great. Right, we can't actually see much because there's no lights or anything like that here, but we're going to go for it. Oh, so we are away. Max has had a pretty good start. Yeah, Goy's had a shocker. He's down in 6th already. Okay, heading down to turn 1. Max does still have the lead. Nexus Cats has jumped up. Ross is there as well. Lennon onto the podium, bringing up the rear again as normal. In P13 we have Diluc, and he is stuck on the line.
He is indeed.
This is concerning. Yeah, he's left. That's a shame.
It's a shame, but it's the very smart thing to do, and I'm pleased he's done it. Yeah,
fair play to him. I'm very, very sad for him. It's his first week with us. He's replacing PB Racing, who unfortunately will not be returning to FTRL for various reasons. But okay, at the start of the first lap, Max has nearly a 7/10 advantage.
Slipstream is about a second and a half, so it's very difficult to get out with that rain, but Max is looking quick.
He's looking quick. Nexus Cats as well with Ross, and then Unsafe Release in fourth. Goykarp and Cornelius and Lennon looking all very close. Look how small that toy up looks of Andy's in the background. It's tiny, doesn't it? It's about the size of Onto the Podium's head.
I was going to say, I've looked and saw a massive pile of green at the back of the field, so that must be Onto the Podium and Switchback.
And Switchback, yeah. Like I said, for that context, Onto the Podium and Switchback have this strange rivalry.
Oh, a few cars in the wall, Lennon and Cornelius.
Yeah, a few bits of banging going on. Max still holds the race lead. He's pulled up to about a second now. Bear in mind, Slipstream is about 1.5 seconds.
I mean, he is only having to pull away from 2 Mazdas, which aren't the quickest in a straight line, so
No.
you never know.
He's playing this well though. Unsafe Release Ross and Nexus Cats is the next little bunch. I don't understand why they're all trying to overtake each other at this stage. At this point, it's all about tactics. The people that are just going to go for this are the ones that are going to suffer the most, I think. And it wouldn't surprise me, Pagani, if we're going to see a few people towards the end run out of fuel.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we've gone through a quarter of a tank already and we're halfway around lap 3. So,
yeah.
I want to say a lot of pit stops there. You've got to work out your strategy before you come to the race.
Yeah, we're going to see a real mix-up. People don't want to lose Slipstream around here, otherwise it is literally race over. So Unsafe Release is now looking to attack his teammate. On the brakes a little bit earlier. Ross is going to run wide and clip the wall. That's going to allow Unsafe Release to probably go through now. Nexus Cats is very, very close as well. Lennon in the Lexus, he's in a very good position at this point. So is Cornelius and Nexus Iceman. And Goy.
Tag on the wall. Max has pulled 1.5 seconds. Max is away.
Yeah. Onto the Podium is now out of slipstream range of Goykarp.
I bet if we mention that to him, that is going to hurt him mentally and physically.
Yeah, Comandy's clattered into the wall. The guys need to just settle down a little bit now, I think. I think they're all just really trying to go for it again.
We've got 3 wide at turn 1.
Yeah, we've got 2 bunches of 3 wide. We've got the battle of a second 3 wide as well. Goy down the inside of Nexus Iceman, so he's back up into 7th. Is Goy.
So what Goy needs to do is pull back over into that slipstream. He hasn't been able to do it. The Subaru's cut the slipstream, so pull back to the outside of Goy.
Yeah, Subaru's
all the hard work Goy did.
Yeah, there we go. Right, this little squabble. I mean, Max has a 2.2 second lead.
I mean, Max has sort of hit straight of form. He qualified very well yesterday in the F1 race. So, qualified P2.
Maybe it's Rom. Maybe Rom's driving for him. What do you reckon?
No, I'm probably going to crash by now.
Unsafe Release. So the 2 Mazdas are squabbling there. You would have thought that they would just sit in each other's slipstream and keep trying to give each other a tow, but at the moment it looks like they're just outright fighting. Now, yeah, this pack now onto the podium is now 3.5 seconds off. So they're going to have to get their pit stops right. Goykarp is in the trail of Cornelius, switches up in between, bumps into Nexus Iceman.
That's enjoyable when you're 3 wide. You can sometimes lose one of the cars you're fighting with.
Well, if I know Goy, I know he's going to be sitting there with his microphone in his mouth, panting like a spasticated dog.
Well, so far, Goy has the most fuel. So
there we go.
Sitting at P7.
We're going to start seeing some pit stops soon. Lap number 7, go up the inside of Cornelius.
There's contact at turn 1. Nexus Cats and Unsafe Release. Both of them make contact and with the wall.
The 2 Aston Martins are going side by side in the background. Again, you would have thought that they would just sort of bump draft each other along to try and catch up.
I was going to say the best thing to do would be work together to try and catch up to that slipstream in front.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the right idea. It's just whether they can make this work. Cornelius and Goy seem to be literally joined at the hip at the minute.
Oh, well, Tom has reiterated to me that Rom would have run out of fuel by now. So.
Yeah, run out of fuel, yeah. Okay, they're talking about the liveries again. I don't think anybody's changed. I think the only ones that have changed, I think Ross had a a teal coloured car last week and he's gone a bit more purple now. Max is in the... He's got a 4-second lead now. Max is in just the default Mercedes livery.
Stay away from it.
Yeah. Unsafe. This is very, very nice. Ross is... Yeah, it's okay. Lennon... I do like Lennon's. I actually quite like Nexus Cats, to be fair. The white and blue.
Swapped. So Cornelius is running same livery
as Deluxe
now.
Yeah, it's like just a purple and green, isn't it? I quite like the Subaru's livery, to be fair, and I like Goy's as well, with the big Mercedes written down the side of it.
I mean, I just like the fact that there's actual shit on the top of Connor's car. It's quite appropriate.
Where is it? Though we can't really get a good view of it, but if you look on top of this green and matte black Aston Martin,
well, Andy was at the back.
Yeah, there's a giant shit emoji on the top of it, and that was because I made that for onto the podium. So you can see that little bit of trailing brown.
To be fair, the way Connor's been feeling lately, he probably is trailing a bit of brown at the moment.
Yeah, well, Switchback is just clattering into the wall concert, and he's 3 seconds off the cars ahead. So
Zach is terrible. Like, what has happened? Like, tipping point has gone to his head.
Yeah, hasn't it? Like, become mates with Ben Shepherd, and it's all gone downhill from there.
Max is in pit lane.
A few people dived in. Max is in. Lennon's in. Ross, unsafe list. Half the field is in. Lennon stayed out, as is Goy. Goy will be getting slipstream from Lennon just. It's not going to be too bad. Goy can maybe go around once or twice more, possibly.
Lennon's pushing it. He's in the red.
Yeah. All the time in the lead now. So Co-Andy's carried on. Max is back out in P4 and Switchback has now got a slipstream from him.
Max has an issue. Look at his fuel.
Oh no.
Max has put a quarter of a tank in.
Yeah. So bottom left of your screen, guys, you've got the fuel gauge. And yeah, Max has only put in a few laps, which is not great for Max, is it? So Lennon ran out of fuel, but he managed to just get back to the pits. Goy was on 8% fuel. Co-Andy's carried on. His fuel's going well.
Andy has got the most fuel so far. Zach is also pitted Switchback.
Yeah. Oh, Max, what have you done? So Ross... Oh, look at Ross and Nexus Cats.
Andy tagged the wall into turn 1.
So we have a Mazda Subaru train. Slubaru, yeah.
Oh, Lennon and Goy coming out of pit lane alongside Nexus Cat and Ross.
Goy's got the jump. Goy's into third. Well, a net P2 now, so the Mercedes are a net 1 and 2 at this stage.
Well, Max has caught up to the back of Andy, but Max is also going to have to pit.
Yeah.
In the lap round, maybe?
I know, but Andy needs to go, and Andy's had to lift off, and Max has gone back in the pits. Yeah. Let's hope that Max fills his fuel tank up now.
Oh, and we have 6 cars battling for second. Well, what will be net first place?
So Goy is about to take the lead of this race.
I mean,
Gaius of Krampus. No. So Gaius of Krampus is about to take the... There we go. First Goy Carp. I'm going to have to screenshot it because I just don't believe it.
Where does Max come out? Max has come out...
Oh, Goy's clattered into the wall.
Podium. So Max has fallen back out of the slipstream range of the front group. He has the pace though, so what can he do while he's in a little group? Will he work together with these two and pull himself towards the front? Well, Sicey, as you said that Max used Rom's fuel rig. I was saying maybe it is Rom, that's why I didn't put in the fuel in. Goy has pulled 9/10.
Goy's away. Well, let's hope the for Goy's sake the guys behind.
Oh, he's had a wiggle in turn 1 though.
He has, yeah. Guys behind are going to keep squabbling. The luxury for Goy is that he's got a Group 4 Mazda Retenza chasing him. And as we all know, it's not the best.
The luxury for Goy is he's the man that everybody wants to be, I think.
Yeah, no, well, next just look at this little train behind. It's down to 3 tenths. Is Goy saving fuel, or are they? I don't know if Goy's trying to.
More fuel, but he came in a lap later than everyone, so probably just slipstream. Like, he had a bad run through turn 1. Goy pulled straight back into the slipstream of Ross.
Well, don't rule Coandy out of all this. I know he's at the back now, but oh, Goy's had a massive slide. Unsafe releases it, going to the wall, and Goy's now dropped off massively. Yeah, he's well out of slipstream range now, is Goy.
Well, Lee has suggested that looking at his fuel, I think he's maybe 1 lap short to run flat out.
Who's that, Coandy?
No, with Max in his strategy, but we've not even reached halfway yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought Goy was going to struggle to catch back up, but he is in a slipstream of Cornelius now.
Yeah, so I think he'll be okay. Oh, look at this train of cars.
Max is up the inside of Goy. Max is flying.
Max has got, well, Goy's still got more fuel than Max. So I don't know. I think Goy's trying to be sensible here and trying to save some fuel. Out of everybody on the track at the moment, Goy, I think. Yeah, Goy has the most amount of fuel. The 2 Aston Martins don't have a lot at all.
Those 2 words don't normally go well together, Goy being the sensible option. But
yeah, there we go. So we've got this little front 5 cars at me, which consists of the 2 Mazdas leading the way, the 2 Subarus in hot pursuit, and Lennon, who I still think at this point is going to win this race. I honestly think Lennon's going to do it. I think he's being very sensible with what he's trying to do, just sitting behind, not trying to take the lead.
I mean, we commented last week on how well Nexus Cats was driving, and he's followed it up again today. He's in P2.
Yeah. Not forgetting as well, Nexus Iceman, his teammate, he only joined literally last minute last week. So he's had no pre-season, no time to practice or acclimatise, but I mean, look at him. These 2 Subarus now, and they're in the race lead, the 2 of them.
They say Ryanair's the cheap airway. Maybe they've been saving money to buy more fuel, I'm not sure.
Well, when are people going to start pulling the trigger? Are they going to go in when they've got absolutely no fuel, or what are they going to do? Because this is all about strategy now. We're approaching the business end of this first race.
Ross is practically inside the Subaru Nexus Cat.
Yeah, oh, that's a tough place to be. Yeah, Ross ended up in the wall.
Max is here. He's inside slipstream range.
Yeah, he's back.
How has he caught that 2.5
Well, what's the gap between Cornelius? That's 2.3, so Goy's going to be pushing him along now, I think.
Max is flying.
Yeah, right, the 2 Astons are about to pit together as well. And they're probably going to be going to the end, by the looks of things. Coandy's not far behind, Switchback is quite a way back.
I must say, Switchback is struggling. He's 4.5 seconds off, and he has a lot less fuel than his teammate.
Yeah.
Well, both Astons have run it dry, right?
Yep, there we go. Well, Goy's overtaken Cornelius, but their gap is now 4 seconds, so they need to make sure they get this last. Max has got all the way back up to second. Ross has dropped off to the back. Max is flying.
Max is in P. What? Where has this pace come from? I mean, he said earlier that he was playing with his TV outside, so.
Yeah, I literally saw a live video of him sat on a balcony with his TV and PlayStation out there.
Oh, Nexus Iceman's coming. Pull the trigger, Ross has gone.
So was Ross, yeah. Fuel, I don't think they had any left. Right, 9 minutes to go. So we're looking at what, about, what do you reckon, about another 11 laps?
Oh, there's contact. Max is a little sideways. Keeps it together nicely though. Yeah,
Michael sees it. Yeah, evening Michael. I believe Grandad Bob is watching too, so evening Grandad Bob.
I mean,
Max has taken the lead and he's pulling away. Yeah, he's pulling away. Well, a bit of... Go on.
His front four are all going to come into pits this lap.
Yeah, I would have thought so. Hopefully Max remembers to put fuel in his car.
Yeah, all four in.
Yeah, they're all in. They've all pulled the trigger now. So Goy can't.
What does Goy do? Goy still has a quarter of a tank left. Oh, actually, Andy's got about a third of a tank left. So you're going to have to stop for less time or come in a lot later and put less fuel in at the end. So
if you're these two, do you literally just jump in now, put like a lap in or something, or a couple of laps in and just go to the end? Because they've got to
probably fill up now because they'll be in the pits a lot less time.
Yeah.
But
Right, well, Lennon has come out in the lead of this little pack. Max is there with Nexus Iceman. Nexus Cats has fallen dramatically.
Well, I can tell you why both, well, Ross, Nexus Cats and Unsafe have all dropped, because they've filled the tanks. The guys in front haven't.
Okay, Goy's in. Coandy's carrying on.
Out.
Goy's fueling up. Nexus Iceman's coming down the straight now. Where is Goy?
Still in pit lane.
He's still there. He's
out now.
And there goes the front runners. Can Goy get a tow from somewhere?
I tell you what, he's not going to be too far behind his teammate, but it's just going to be about 2 seconds, so he's got time to make up.
Yes, but he's in a pretty good position. Lennon's there, Nexus Iceman there. Coandy, what does he do? Does Coandy pull the trigger and come in the pits now?
I mean, Andy's got fuel to do one more lap, in theory. It looks like he's doing it. He's going to run.
He's doing it, yeah. Interesting tactic, but these front three have pulled off now. So you've got Max, Lennon and Nexus Iceman, who look to be the favourites for the race win, with Goy lurking just behind.
I tell you what, there's one favourite in this race. I don't care what anyone says. Max he's just set fastest lap. He is flying tonight.
And just remember, for those that are watching, we've got race number 2 straight after this, which is at Catalunya, or the Spanish Grand Prix circuit, and that's in Group 3 cars, and whoever wins this race will be starting last in the second, and whoever's last in this race will be starting at the front in Catalunya. So it's certainly going to shake things up a little bit now, but we've got Max and Nexus Iceman running side by side. Lennon's still waiting patiently and waiting for him to pull the trigger.
Where will he come out?
He's got about 7 laps to put in, maybe 7 or 8 laps.
Leader's going by now.
Where is Andy? When did he stop? He stops now.
Out.
Oh, there he goes. Can he?
I mean, that's put him in front of Cornelius and both Aston Martins.
As he's played that sensibly. Just a case of whether he can get this sort of tow up there now.
He doesn't have all of the speed in the world in that car on this track, but he's not last, unlike his teammate. So
FTRL Donzo in there, repping the FTRL logo as his YouTube picture now. Much respect for that. Goy's holding on to P4 at this stage, but now he's got the train behind him. So
Max has got to the front, but he's not pulling away this time.
Yeah, these front 3 don't have to worry about the slipstream behind unless the other guys work together to catch back up, but realistically speaking, is that going to happen? I still think the man we're on board with is going to win this race, Lennon. I really do. I've said it from the start.
Well, the 3 behind Goy, so you've got Nexus, Cats, Unsafe Release and Ross, have all closed the gap to Goy.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. I wonder if they all work together. I don't know whether they will, to try and bring themselves closer, but they've got 3.5 seconds to make 5 laps? 6 laps?
Iceman's having a look down the inside of Max.
Yeah.
Iceman's still repping that GB flag. Not an island flag, so still British.
So Max still leads the way. Nexus Iceman pulls to the inside. He's going to try it on Max.
I'm looking at fuel, and Iceman's got a quarter of a tank. We have 4 minutes.
Oh yes. Well, I don't know why I turned into the Churchill dog then, but. Okay, Nexus Cats is past Goy. Unsafe Release is past Goy. Goy doesn't have a lot of fuel left. Unsafe Release has a lot. Nexus Cats has a lot. Ross has a lot, as does Andy. Andy's just outside of that little range that he wants to be in now. He's going to be gutted that he can't pull himself just a little bit closer. As Lennon's dropping off. I think
Lennon's saving fuel.
Yeah.
Like, he has a quarter of a tank now.
Iceman's going to have to pit. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not going to make it.
Max might have to pit as well. Lennon's got more than both of them, but is he going to get to the end? I don't think so.
I mean, that leaves Nexus Cats in a prime.
Nexus Cats, unsafe release. Goykart probably going to have to pit as well. I don't know. Maybe. Unless Goy can save a little bit, like short shift a bit and save a little bit of fuel as he goes round. But we're looking at, what, Iceman's 3 laps? Iceman's in. Does Lennon follow? No, he doesn't. Max carries on as well. Ooh, this is going to be close.
Well, Iceman's changing tyres, which...
Interesting. Okay, battle for third now. Nexus, Cats, Goykart, unsafe release, and Ross. Co-Andy is pulling the gap, but I don't quite think it's going to be enough. Nexus Iceman's going to come out in P8. Cornelius is down in P9. The championship leader. The switchback is in P10, and the 2 Aston Martins having an absolute shocker tonight, unfortunately, so far. In 11th and 12th.
Thing is Iceman's fuel. He put just over a quarter of a tank. There's only 2 cars in front of him that have more.
Yeah.
One of them is Andy.
Max is in.
Unsafe release.
Lennon's carrying on.
They've got 2 laps to go.
Lennon's fuel, yeah, 2 laps. Lennon probably has about 1.5 in that. Do you reckon?
Does not have 2 laps in that tank.
No, that's probably 1.3. Yeah, unsafe as 2.
On the bubble.
Always close.
On the bubble.
Oh, this is where things start to go a bit wobbly. And he's coming.
He's coming back into this.
And he's coming. Okay, there is no way Lennon's making this. I mean, if he does, fair play to him, but we're definitely going to see a shake-up of positions now as unsafe release is 6/10 behind. Lennon's had to dive in. That's such a shame for Lennon. Like we said, fuel is so crucial. Unsafe release takes the lead of the race going into the last lap.
Nexus Cats is in the red.
Yeah, Nexus Cats is red. I think he'll be okay. Ross is in the red as well. Goy is even more red behind him. Co-Andy is in a very good position.
Goy is sipping at the moment.
Yeah.
Nexus Iceman, he's pitted, but he's going to be lucky to make the finish.
He is. Here we go. So, unsafe release coming around probably to win this race now, I would imagine. Nexus Cats has got literally nothing left. In the words of Ian Beale, he's got nothing left. Here he goes. Ross is making a late surge. Is it going to be a Mazda 1-2? Is it going to come up towards the line? Unsafe release is going to take the race win. Ross is going to get Nexus Cats. There we go. There's your front 3. Co-Andy's up in P4. He's got him on the last straight, so it's a 5th and a 6th for the Mercedes. Brilliant job from Co-Andy to recover there. Nexus Iceman is 7th. Lennon in P8. Cornelius down in P9 and switchback. He's going to... There we go. He's obliterated onto the podium. And Zombie's just trickling along.
Now, I believe the Aston Martins were working on maths compiled by onto the podium.
Yeah.
So
there we go.
Fear that onto the podium can't count while he's ill. So
onto the podium just can't count in general. There we go. Okay. Well, the attenders take a 1-2. Who would have thought it? Definitely bloody not me, I can tell you that much. But there is your winner. Unsafe Release takes his first win of the season. I'll get a screenshot for that for Twitter. Make sure I save this race replay and get a screenshot of the race results. Okay, well, exciting first race. I do like watching a good oval. There we go. So we now go on.
Enjoy watching a good oval rather than participating in a good oval.
Oh, I love it. I love driving it. So we have. I'm just going to put a message in saying good to go. To switch back to make sure we changes all the settings over. Okay, well, congratulations to the front runners there. Let us know in the stream what you thought of the race. I see Grandad Bob's found us this evening. Good evening, mate. Thank you for watching.
Well, Lennon's admitted that he can't count and was half a lap short.
And there we go, another 20 people watching again, so thank you all very much. Max saying, is it interview worthy? We don't actually do interviews on here, mate. Lennon's called himself a C***T. Don't know what we're going to go with that.
Really say on stream.
Well, no, I mean, well, we can, but just choose not to. Purely because my granddad's watching. If I start saying that word, he'll tell me off.
I mean, I don't want to tell him off either, so I'm not saying it.
Not from Grandad Bob. I'll never forget the first time I said that in front of him. I think I called somebody at a football once, and he didn't speak to me the entire way home, and he was just like, all he said to me was, I'm just so disappointed in you. I was like, oh, shit. He's got me where it hurts for that.
That is the worst. I've had that before. I'm not annoyed, I'm just disappointed.
Okay, right, let me just double check the changes over. So he's changed the track, excellent. Group 3 cars, reverse grids, race time and endurance. Yep, everything is all good, I believe.
I'll say, Zach is doing a better job of hosting this stuff than Si. Right.
There we go. Okay. Alright, we'll give
Ron was turned up the race after fuel, so yeah. I wonder why you missed that one, Ron.
Okay, so Catalunya. We'll get into that in just 2 seconds.
Oh, well, Carl is suggesting is the word that Lennon was trying to say count.
No.
I think he's miscounted how many letters there are.
Yeah, Deluc has left the room. Next is Cat, so close to the win. Right, so Group 3 time. Obviously, strategy is all into play now. Now, interested to know your thoughts, Pagani, because obviously with Catalunya, especially on the Formula 1 games, it's quite a high tyre wear circuit, isn't it? You tend to have to run the mediums and the hards. As opposed to the softer compound tyres, and obviously everybody in this race are going to have to use the super soft, and the medium tyre. I'm just going to go on board with Robbo. He's absolutely all over the place on mine. Yeah, that's absolutely shocking. Unfortunately.
Yeah, there is a very bouncy Hyundai.
Yeah.
It's making crop circles in the gravel.
Yeah. Right, I'm just going to ask him to kindly leave, I think.
Oh my word, that is a... that Hyundai is not happy.
Yeah. I'm just going to pop him... Oh, he's left now. Okay. Oh. What I've done is nearly entered the race myself. That's probably not the best idea, is it? Right, strategy, Pagani. Let's get back onto this. So obviously, there's a mandatory 2-stop in this race. They have to do super soft, and medium tyres. So, how would you approach it? Obviously, we saw last week people tend to work from the harder tyre down to the softer. So medium, soft, super soft. Or do you think that's going to be a repeat theme?
Depending on where you start. I mean, if you're at the back, you really want to start on the mediums because the field's going to be the most compact at the start, so you're not going to lose as much time. I mean, Nexus Cats went the opposite way last week, started on the super soft, had a very good opening stint, then went to the soft to carry on, and then lost time in the last, ended up losing the position at the last corner.
Yeah.
So, I think placement of the medium tyre is the interesting one. Like, the softs and the supers sort of hold up very well together. So...
Yeah, there doesn't tend to be that much difference between the softs and the supers. Obviously, in terms of time, they don't really seem to change that much. It tends to be more the tyre wear than anything else.
I'm trying to think, how many laps is this race going to be?
Well, we can't really. I mean, we'll get a fair representative in a minute once Cornelius comes round.
I want somebody to set a lap time, will I?
Nexus Cat's been again in the. It really, really, really bugs me. Like to the point. Yeah, it really does. Really does irritate me when he does that. Right.
Well, there's a lot of guys on the medium tyre currently.
Yeah. So.
There's a very sideways Hyundai.
I just asked onto the podium how many laps they're expecting tonight. I'm not too sure. When you are looking at about, it's got to be around the 2 minute mark per lap.
You would definitely think so.
Yeah. So.
Well, Cornelius is going to the line.
It's going to be about a 150. Yeah.
149.
Yeah, we're going to be. I reckon we're going to be looking at about. Yeah, he said about 20 to 21. So. I think we've got 2 people that still haven't entered. Oh, let's just switch back. So who did we lose? Oh no, it was Robbo, wasn't it?
Oh, Robbo was back in his car. So still bouncing quite a lot, but...
Robbo's back in his car, he's not in it on mine.
Well, that could be an issue for the race.
Is he in the lobby?
Yes.
Well, I'm just going to figure out exactly what's going on.
Oh, well, we've had From join us in the stream. I mean, it is highly unlikely that you can rage quit out of a stream from, so feel free to stay.
Oh, you never know. Can't put it past Frame.
I mean, he's probably here to send a couple of insults onto the podium's worth, but
Yeah.
everybody does it anyway, so yeah. I mean, there are going to be some trouble zones on this track. I mean, turn 1, turn 2, it's very difficult to get the line right every time. You are liable to run wide, especially on worn tyres. You've got the fast change direction before the fast right-hander, midway through sector 2. Oh, medium tyres is quite difficult for traction, as well as the last chicane. But the last chicane on medium tyres is... we might see a couple spins there tonight.
Yeah. I'm just trying to sort out this stuff with Robbo, because he's not actually in it for switchback either. So would you be able to pop...
He's just left the room on my screen, so...
Oh, right, the luck has managed to join now.
Oh, well, Size counteracted that and said 22-ish laps.
Ooh. Right. We'll give everyone a 1 minute warning.
I mean, if there's one thing I trust Si with, it's counting. I mean, Zach's put a 30-second warning and you counteracted it with a 1 minute warning. Oh, well, the look is actually on track for the first time tonight.
I need to actually tell the lobby host to get into his car.
I was going to say, we do currently only have 12 on track, so...
Okay, right. So, the two Aston Martins are going to be starting on the front row together. Well, sorry, no, Deluxe is going to be on pole. They're going to be second and third.
I mean, it is intimidating to have one at the podium starting either for them. I mean,
Yeah.
can he defend on GT Sport like he usually does on F1? I mean, now is the time we're going to find out. I mean, I've seen a lot of different tyre strategies. I don't want to reveal them now just yet. I'll wait till the start of the race because I don't want to sort of reveal anybody's strategy too soon. But a lot of the grid is starting on the medium tyre. And I've seen 3 sets of supers, but no softs, so...
Okay. Well. There we go. So Deluxe on pole with Zombie and onto the podium alongside him, switch back in fourth. And then we've got Cornelius, Lennon, Nexus Iceman, Max, Goykarp, Co-Andy, Nexus Cats, Ross, unsafe release as your 13 drivers as we skip back to the front as we prepare for Lights Out of Catalunya for the second Group 3 race of the season. Oh, Deluxe full started. Oh, it's carnage.
Oh, there's contact.
Yeah, we've got Nexus Iceman is backwards. Deluxe not been able to move off the line again. Absolute nightmare for him. Absolute nightmare. There we go. Goykarp and his nice orange Mercedes. Oh, we've got FTRL switchback is currently off track and he's ploughed back into Nexus Cats. Into Lennon, they're going to go 3 by wide. There we go.
And then the Zach.
Yeah, well, the two Astons lead the way. Zombie leads them onto the podium. Cornelius is all up into third already, so I imagine he's going to be favourite for this race.
Guy's had a wiggle, he's back down to 11th. I mean, obviously it's very unfortunate for Nexus Raceman, and even more unfortunate for Deluxe.
Yeah, absolutely.
He is currently still on the grid, so yeah.
The guys are going to have to be careful as they go round, but like I said, the two Aston Martins lead the way. Cornelius in third, Nexus Cats in fourth, Unsafe Release in fifth. He's had a great start. Lennon up into Pete.
Onto the podium's overshot. He's missed his braking point. He was trying to defend from Cornelius and went straight on and has lost one position as a ramification from missing the braking zone.
He's lost 2. He's down to fourth. All Zombies touched to gravel there. Nexus Cats has had a great start up into third. Onto the podium in fourth with Unsafe Release in fifth, Lennon in sixth, Ross in seventh, Switchback in eighth, Max in ninth, Co-Andy in 10th, and then Goy and Nexus Iceman finish off the current runners. So they're running in packs of 4 at the moment at the back. Lap number 2.
He's on the super soft tyre again, hence why he's quick in the start of this race, but he's up to P3.
Certainly is. Well, Zombie's starting on the medium tyres and he's currently doing a very good job at the front, but saying that, right on cue. Cornelius is through.
Oh, Zombie's trying around the outside. I don't think that's going to stop. It isn't.
No.
That Aston Martin's in the gravel.
He's dropped himself all the way back down to P8 after that. Gran Turismo is purely about time and patience.
Hence why Mr. Joe Burns quit.
Oh yes.
Well, can Nexus Cats get a move done for the lead on these super soft tyres?
It's looking likely. I still think Cornelius will win this, to be honest, but
This guy's getting a little bit wide and has picked up a penalty as a result.
Nexus Cat's running quite deep into the corner. He's much later on the brakes because of his tyres. He's now basically pushing the AlphaTauri. Cornelius with a big wiggle. He's going to run up the inside. It's going to be a move done by Nexus Cats. So much more grip at the moment.
So, Cornelius is fighting it. He's running wide.
Yeah, it's a little bit silly from Cornelius here. He's lost out time. He's had to cut the final chicane now.
Release is coming now.
Yeah, Lennon's coming as well. Cornelius is very, very wiggly.
Well, that Nissan is a very oversteery car on the medium tyres. It won't be happy.
Well, let us know in the.
Cornelius fighting back up the inside of him, safe racing to turn 1.
Let us know on the stream who you think is going to be on the podium in this one, in what order. Always keen to see.
Release clouds the inside curve coming off turn 1.
Yeah, I'm looking at this battle for 4th as well. Lennon onto the podium going side by side, both on the medium tyre.
Cornelius up the inside into turn 4. The right hander.
Yep.
Did an unsafe.
But looking in this stream chat, we've got Mikey in there who picked up a race win last night on FTRL for the first time. Saying he's going for a Ross win in Spain. And you've got SF Racing, who I heard was about his little shenanigans in the chat about me liking Fuji earlier on. So Kyle, I've not forgotten that, my friend. But no, he's saying hopefully no shenanigans at the first chicane and a good race for all. Onto the podiums, grazed off the grass. Lennon's in the gravel.
Lennon's dipping the wheel.
Yeah, Nexus Cats is starting to pull a tiny gap on Cornelius. Switch back, lunging down the inside onto the podium, gets the move done. Onto the podium, trying to switch back, and he gets it done.
We know all about this rivalry.
We certainly do. Switch back on the medium tyres as well. The Toyota's always better in the second half of the stints.
We've made from Hungary. Kinder M&M's Kit Kat. What is this? He's
yeah.
in for more treats tomorrow.
Well, T. Smith saying Zach to take out Connor, but he's spelt Connor with an ER on the end.
Oh, I mean that's aggressive. That is.
I mean, if it was intentional, it was brilliant. If it wasn't, it's just poor. But anyway, Lennon is running a bit of a lonely race in P4 at the minute, but I think he'll be quite content with where he's sat. And then the front three of Nexus Cats, Cornelius, and Unsafe.
I think some of these cars prefer the medium tyres to others. Like the Lexus isn't normally one that enjoys tight corners. With the medium tyre, it does get very slidey. So I expect Lennon to come back into this race later on.
Yeah.
However, on the podium and switchback, they've now got Ross training the body, so we have a 3-car battle for 4. 5th even. I wish I could count.
Yeah, we do, yeah. Well, Ross has given Switchback a little push and he ended up in the gravel there. He's gone up the inside. He's allowed him back through, fair play. He's always a very, very... Oh, who's off in the background? That's Co-Andy. Nearly went absolutely flying in his chrome and orange Toyota.
I mean, maybe Andy still thinks he's playing Rocket League, I'm not sure, but you don't really want to see flying cars on GT.
No, it's never a good idea. Well, Goy Karp's down 11th and Max is running on his own in P12. Goy isn't a million miles away from the cars ahead, but he's slowly losing time with the race going on. Nexus Iceman's pushing now. He's going to take a look down the inside of Switchback, going to the final chicane. Switchback tries to switchback, doesn't work.
It's not normally an overtaking opportunity, but it does make it work.
Yeah.
On those super soft tyres, but they are beginning to show signs of wear, so...
Flying Frozen is off to the shop to get some chocolate after this, but he'll probably go during because he'll rage quit. Lennon goes a little bit deep into the first corner, losing a little bit of time to Unsafe Release, and must have had a bit of a moment himself because Cornelius has pulled a bit of a gap and he's staying with Nexus Cats.
First time anyone would have said Lennon's gone deep, but hey oh.
Oh, the puns.
Well, on the podium, holding up to 5th at the moment. He's had a battle with Iceman last week, so those two are merging together once again.
Yeah, I don't think he's trouble is with onto the podium when people do get past him. I don't think he's that bothered about trying to catch him back up. I think he's still trying to worry about who's behind him still. So if anybody gets past him, they're probably be on for a good result, because I imagine he'll then just try and hold up everybody else who's behind.
Oh, Lee's asked for him for a cornetto, so. It's always what you want, Lee, isn't it? What's going on?
Yeah. It was about Lee. I know, I've said this. Oh, next to Iceman looked like he was about to just T-bone onto the podium.
Oh,
he's
on the podium's had a wiggle. Iceman with superior grip, trying to get down the inside. Connor did try to hold it.
Yeah, shoves him out a little bit.
So. Oh, on the podium's in the pits. After 5 laps on the medium tyre.
He's going to be, I reckon he's going to go for a double soft stint and then a super stint as well. I think he's going to 3-stop this. Zombie's done the same. So these two are obviously just mirroring each other.
Well,
which is fair enough.
Share info, so.
They certainly do. Right, well, Nexus Iceman's now in 5th, with Ross in P6 and Switchback in 7th.
Cornelius going for the lead. Nexus Cat has outbroke himself into turn 4. So Cornelius is our new race leader.
Well, Nexus Cats, I imagine, will come in at the end of this lap. 10 minutes. Oh, Cornelius.
Wiggle. I say that Nissan on medium tyres is very twitchy at the rear. Oh, Nexus Iceman's run deep and now Switchback is on the back of him. These super soft tyres look like they're dying a death as he runs deep, does Iceman. Switchback looking left and right.
Yeah, Unsafe Release in a good position at the moment, as is Lennon, I think. Again, in a pretty good position this race, will quietly go about his business.
Switchback will look into the inside, but Iceman's
Iceman's gone very deep. Oh, he's going to rejoin. Yeah.
Well, I'm guessing that onto the podium. Oh, he's gone back onto the medium tyre.
Has he?
He has.
What's Zombie done? Zombie's gone on the softs. I wonder if he's meant that.
Well, I mean, either way, he now owes us 2 more stops. So.
Yeah, I reckon he's probably tried to go for a medium, a double soft, and then a super soft. But either way,
as is unsafe release. Was unsafe release on the mediums at the start of the race? I think
yes,
he was. He got back onto the mediums and missed the break for turn 1.
And now he's in the gravel and switch back.
Unsafe released, looks to the inside, but Switchback holds it tight.
Well, Switchback in a pretty good position here, all unsafe release. Gets the skates out. Cornelius looking strong. Lennon looking strong.
Oh, Lennon's dipped the wheel brake and full sideways corner entry. I mean, it's not going to do your tyres much good, but there's nothing worse than a snapped Kit Kat. As Unsafe has got past Switchback now. On those fresh wheels, we run deep in the fast right-hander and clip the gravel. Meanwhile, Ross having another good race in the Group 3 car. Had one last week, quietly went about his business, and he's jumped into 5th.
Yeah, he certainly has. We've got yeah, onto the podium, covering off Nexus Cats at the minute. Nexus Cats is doing his medium stint now as well, so he's going to be ending on the softs if he does manage to 2-stop it. Zombie's a little bit further behind. Co-Andy still needs to pit. not enjoying the best start to the race. Goy's gone very deep next to Sice Man alongside him. Goy shoves him out a little bit.
Oh, Goy's hit
Bumps
the
over the
sausage
curb. Goy just lifted off and let him through now. I think he's given up trying to fight him.
It looks like Goy definitely prefers the Group 4 car at the moment.
Yeah, or just prefers driving in circles. I mean, he likes to do that on F1. Not when he's supposed to, but...
Pause the game, he's maybe trying to
Okay,
find out where his next beat
Ross
is
and switchback. Well, I think what switchback's going to do, he's going to maybe go 15 minutes on the mediums, and then what, 15 on the softs, and then 10 on the supers at the end.
Look at the tyre wear difference between Ross and switchback. Both of them haven't pitted yet.
Yeah, it's mad.
Ross is fantastic on his tyres.
Switchback is literally just like sitting in front of him.
Background between Nexus Cats and on the podium. He's on the podium through the gravel. Both of them on the medium tyres. So.
What did that look like from your view? I was on board with the battle for P4.
Just saw it in the background, so it's very difficult one to go side by side, but yeah, it didn't look the best move, but done now. So. I mean, we're not even halfway yet.
No, we're approaching it now. Midway point in race 2.
But unsafe release on those fresh mediums is starting to catch up the back of Lennon and is just as fast as lap.
Well, Ross is taking a look down the inside of switchback, going down into turn 1. It's a drag race between a Toyota and a Mazda, and the Mazda prevails. No problems at all.
I think the switchback lifted just before the braking point as his car ghosted, so he was serving a bit of his penalty, so he wasn't on the throttle. I mean, judging by how quick Ross was approaching, it was probably the best interest of both drivers.
Yeah, Cornelius has an 8.3 second lead at the moment on the mediums.
Andy and Goykarp have both pitted from the medium tyre. What tyre are they going on to? I shall have a look.
Yeah, well, Lennon's in not a bad position here because he's still got unsafe release behind him, who's already pitted.
Andy's gone back out on a set of mediums, and Goy has gone on a super soft tyre. Well, unsafe release when he pitted early for that second set of medium tyres did not fill the tank, so his fuel situation is pretty much the same as Lennon's. As they go side by side into the hairpin, unsafe release trying it round the outside. Brave move. Lennon squeezes into the curb, holds onto the place.
Yeah, good defensive driving there. Lennon just putting his car in the right places.
Unsafe release, just lighting up those rear tyres.
Yeah, you don't really want to do that in the old Atenza.
Cornelius is in the pits. What does Lennon do?
Is Lennon going to respond? Yes, he does.
Yep, Lennon's in.
So unsafe release is going to take the lead of the race. Unsafe release goes through.
Switchback is also in.
Onto the podium's had a nightmare at the final chicane. He's struggling.
What's happened to Ross? Ross ended up behind Switchback when he pitted, and he's also now behind Nexus Cats. So something happened to Ross that lot.
Yeah, must have been a problem there as Nexus Cats lifts off. Tries to get a switchback on Ross, but Ross goes through, no problems.
Cornelius come out right behind this battle pack, but he's on a soft tyre, so in theory he should be much quicker at this moment in time.
Yeah. He'd probably go for about 12 minutes, I would have thought, on the softs, and about 8 on the supers. Lovely move.
He has nailed that switchback on Nexus Cats.
Lovely move.
To perfection.
And could he get Ross around the outside? No, he tries another switchback. He's going to make this one stick as well, won't he?
So it'll give him the inside.
Lovely move. His Nexus Cat's going to lead the car in. Yes, he does.
Unsafe release at front of the now has a 2-second penalty.
Yeah, almost. Well, Lennon's in P5 on the soft tyres. You can see the cars in front of him. and I imagine they're all going to slow each other down a little bit as Ross is a little bit off track. Onto the podium in P6 with Nexus Iceman and Zombie fighting in P7 now. So Iceman's having a good recovery drive after the antics at the start, where unfortunately Deluxe car didn't move.
Well, under the podium has no fuel, so he'll be coming in this lap. Ross is also in this lap.
I mean, maybe it was his plan, don't know.
I mean, Ross has come at the pits after 10 laps and still got a quarter of a tank of fuel.
There we go, right, switchback is going through. There's a yellow flag. Don't know what's happened there. Zombie, I think, had a bit of a nightmare going into the pits. Where's Co-Andy? Co-Andy's with Goy racing, coming around the final chicane. Let's go and see what else is going on. Ross.
So Ross has just come up pit lane on a soft tyre, trying to defend from the switchback, who's also on the soft tyre, pitted a lap earlier.
Yeah, it's important for Ross to come out ahead of switchback. He didn't want to be stuck behind. You saw he was having a little bit of trouble earlier on.
Well, Cornelius has pulled 2 seconds on unsafe release. It's pitted for these soft tyres.
Well, the closest battle on track at the minute is the one between Ross and switchback for P6. Just heading down a little bit further. Goykarp is still pretty close to Co-Andy. Onto the podium down in P10, not having the best of times at the minute. Zombie's only a few seconds behind his teammate, and Max is just being lapped by Nexus Cats at the moment. So it's gone from delight to despair for Max.
Well, mid-distance in this race is coming up very shortly, and we're on the end of lap 11, so it's going to be 22 laps as this race. As unsafe release goes round again. He's just going to hit the red on fuel, so he's obviously got some sort of plan in mind. He's already made one stop to switch mediums to mediums. So.
Yeah, I reckon he'll do what, 10 minutes on the softs and then the last bit on the supers. Well, Iceman has got up into he's in P5. Ross has closed in dramatically on him on them fresh softs. And switchback has dropped off just a few tenths behind, but he's still well within slipstream range.
It'll be interesting to see how the podium race does pan out. When he's currently a long way away from switchback. The vote Nico Mobile is.
Yeah, Ross down the inside of Nexus Iceman at the end of the first sector. There we go. Nailed the first sector, did Ross, and he's pulled a gap to switchback, who's now got to get past Nexus Iceman as well. So Ross is probably going to run clear a little bit now. Lennon just a handful of seconds behind Nexus Cats.
It's going to give switchback a look. Close the inside. Switchback has the lift. Oh, Ross is also in the gravel. He's in the grass. Ross is off. Gets
recovered it well.
Stuff.
Yeah, he's recovered it well. Just time he didn't want to lose. But yeah, Lennon is now rapidly closing the gap on Nexus Cats. However, unsafe release, who's now pitted on 1% fuel, so he's nailed that. Cornelius is going to retake the race lead. So, like I said, he should be home and dry, but for any mistakes now. Lennon's gone through.
How much fuel does unsafe release put in the car? When he's done half the race and he had to fill up a little bit in that first one, so he's not going to.
Yeah, he's filled it right up. Yeah.
On the soft tyre.
Switchback. Where is unsafe release? He's come up the pitch just ahead of his teammate, and switchback is now taking a look at Nexus Iceman. Still can't get it done, so he's going to be growing ever more frustrated as the seconds tick by.
We have a 3-car train for 8 players, all 3 on different compounds of tyres. Andy on the medium, Goykarp on the supers, and onto the podium on the soft. Max is having a bit of cross country in the Mercedes at the back.
Yeah,
Not
he
enjoying
certainly
the
is.
Catalunya circuit.
Well, switch back and look around the outside of Nexus Iceman, who covers it off again. I think Switchback needs to get his elbows out and go for a move and commit to it, which could be what he's doing here. No, he lifts out again. Look at all that time they're losing.
I mean, I find on GT you have to commit to the move early.
Yeah, this is
So
just make your mind up and go for it. Yeah.
If you go for a half-hearted move, both cars go side by side.
I mean, this has to be it.
Lose time.
This has to be it for Switchback. Has he overcommitted there? Yes, he has. Yeah, he's getting impatient. Knowing him, we'll be shouting as well because Iceman's at the same corner as he is.
Oh, Andy's dropped positions to both onto the podium and Goy Carp, so he may have had a little trip to the gravel.
Well, onto the podium is rapidly closing in Goy. I'm very surprised by the pace of onto the podium. I really thought he would be a lot more up there than what he is at this stage. Just in general, really.
I mean, Goy barely plays the game, as shown by the fact he just drove off track, and he's currently quicker than at the podium. So, yeah, just not going right front of the podium moment. I know he's not 100% at the moment, but.
Oh, switch back. Has he finally got the move done? I think he has. Through the first chicane, heading down towards the end of the first sector. He needs to make sure Iceman doesn't come back at him here. Is Iceman going to leave the car in, heading in towards the right hander? Oh, he thought about it. Switchback moved over and covered it off. Let's go and check in with Cornelius. Yeah.
Pulling away from Lennon at the moment, a second a lap. And has better tyre wear than Lennon, so unless Cornelius makes a mistake, I think this race might be wrapped up.
Yeah. Well, Unsafe Release has to pit again, I'm fairly sure.
I think everybody does. Unsafe Release needs to use a super soft tyre at some point.
Yeah. As does Lennon, I believe. So, Nexus Cats will be going onto the soft soon as well, so that could be a good little battle between Lennon, Nexus Cats and Unsafe. And where's Ross? Oh, he's not far behind at all, so...
He's tagging on the back of his
teammate. Oh, hello,
What's
happened? Is that Max?
I think he just clipped the AstroTurf on the outside of the corner.
Yeah, having a bit of a mare. Nexus Cats is in, so he's going to be popping on the soft tyre, I would imagine, and going to the very end now. Let's just double check what tyres he puts on.
Speedway also in, so those two following a comparative strategy. So
yeah, onto the podium, coming to the final sector now. He's got past Goy.
What's it, clouting them curves? It is very easy to get a penalty through that last chicane.
Yeah.
Nexus Cats fills the tank and goes on the soft tyre. Goy is also in pit lane.
Right, Ross is closing his teammate. It looks like the quicker of the Mazdas at the minute.
Iceman is also on the soft tyre, so the two Nexus lads have completed their pit stops that they have to do, the compulsory ones. So I'd expect it to go at the end.
Onto the podium's in the middle of them at the minute.
I think Max is retired again. Obviously being a lap down, it's...
Well, it's going to be, unfortunately, 5 points deducted again for Mercedes.
But yeah, Ross did this last week, just sort of trailed his teammate towards the end of the race, and considering before the season Ross hadn't really played GT Sport, he's finding his feet very quickly, is he? I mean, that wasn't English, but we'll go with it. Yeah, Cornelius has got the gap to 15 seconds now from Lennon.
Yeah. Yeah, Cornelius, I think he could probably even afford a mistake at this point.
Oh, unsafe in the gravel on the last corner.
He's looking very, very wiggly. Final 12 minutes.
He's pushing hard in that Mazda.
So we're looking at what, probably about 7 laps.
No, Max has apologised, so these pit stops have allowed Switchback to come up to 5th place, but there's always another pit stop, so how far can the soft tyres go? Because currently the Super's last, because the softs on that Toyota are fairly worn at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I believe Guy's made all of his stops. I think he's now in P9. Zombie is in P10, with Coandy not far behind. Coandy, I imagined, should I say, would have had a bit more about him on GT. I think the unfortunate thing for Andy is that at this stage, he's not really played much of GT Sport.
That'd be because you keep Shanghaiing him into Rocket League.
Yes, that would be the case.
So if anybody's wondering why Andy hasn't picked up GT Sport as quickly as anticipated, they aren't.
Well, everybody's going to be scoring points this evening. Obviously, it's 1st to 12th with points. There's not really much on-track action. I think we might see that materialise towards the end of the Group 3 races. It's very much about strategy.
Lennon's tyres are dying very quickly. He's being rapidly caught by unsafe release. Unsafe is very close to slipstream range now.
Yeah, unsafe. These two Mazdas are looking pretty quick. It's a fantastic car, that Mazda Group 3. Unsafe release is very committed, isn't he?
He's throwing everything at it. I mean, you could not say he lacks commitment.
No, very true.
I mean, you drove that Mazda for an entire season and I never saw it half as sideways as this.
No.
Well, on the podium is in the pits.
Well, final pit stop front of the podium. Goy Kart come around the final corner. This could be a legitimate battle for P8 for onto the podium and Goy Kart.
Well, on the podium we've got half a tank of fuel, so they must suggest that half a tank will do 10 minutes.
Yeah, right. The Switchback has come out of the pits and he's in P6.
Zombie's also pitted that lap, and Andy is now in P10.
Oh, Ross is a little bit deep. Those softs are starting to wear off now, as unsafe release is now on the back of Lennon. Oh!
Cornelius is in the pits.
There's contact between Lennon and unsafe. Lennon was almost very, very sideways. Unsafe looks very, very committed at this stage. Ross is now right on the back of this. Lennon has boxed.
Oh, Ross is coming in, and look at the tyre difference between Ross and his teammate, and Ross is coming in.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to undercut his teammate, to be honest.
Rome's calling the Toyota Supra a bit of a diva.
Yeah. There we go. Where is Ross going to come out? Is he going to come out ahead of Switchback?
Oh, Ross has jumped Lennon in the stops. Lennon's put 10% more fuel in. So Ross currently in the net P3.
Yeah, Nexus Cats is now behind as well. Switchback is on the way, but he's about 5 seconds back.
Down the road.
On the road, yeah. Well, unsafe is now only 3 seconds behind Cornelius, but Cornelius has now pitted, so I imagine he's going to walk. He can pretty much walk his way to victory now.
Oh, Zombie's just overtaken Kawandi into the lash again. Yeah, unsafe release really needs to come in this lap. But he's got half a tank of fuel, so he might not have to put any fuel in, just change the tyres.
There we go. Right, well, Lennon is 1.5 behind Ross, who is just eating time out of unsafe release. Like, it is multiple tenths per corner.
I want to say he needs to, because if unsafe doesn't have to put any fuel in, Ross put a good eighth of a tank in, so it's less time stationary. And I mean, anytime you can make up in the pits, it's a lot easier to make it up in the pits than it is on the track.
Absolutely. Right, well, unsafe is now in the pits, so we'll keep an eye on Ross. Hasn't got a fuel, I don't think. Unsafe
Ross
release.
is coming round the last corner now. He's on start finish straight.
Yeah, he's away. Unsafe release is coming out of the pits. Ross is there, so unsafe release is probably gonna. Yeah, he's gonna be just ahead still on fresh tyres, but they're gonna be very, very cold.
Unsafe has a lot more fuel than Ross, so we've seen Ross is very good on his fuel and tyres. But we're going to need to see
Lennon has closed up on Ross. That's one thing we can be very, very sure of at this stage. And Nexus Cats is just sort of lurking behind, waiting.
Nexus Cats on the soft tyre. He's learned from last week, so he hasn't saved the mediums till last, but the soft tyre where everyone else. Oh, Nexus Cats is in the gravel. Right
on cue. Switchback goes through. Nexus Iceman is on his way. He's having a nightmare getting out of that one. Nexus Iceman about to pass his teammate, I believe. Could there be contact between these two? No, Cats has managed to just sort of wriggle his way through. But Switchback's a free position. He's up to P5.
I'm saying we have a battle now between teammates because Nexus Iceman's tyres are a lot better condition than Nexus Cats after that spin.
I swear, especially after that spin, yeah.
Oh, Cats has gone deep. Iceman's right on the back of his teammate now. Now the question is the team orders or are they free to race? And he's got 13 seconds to the car behind and Switchback is 10 seconds up the road, so Iceman goes to the inside. Oh, I think Cats wanted to go to the inside, but Iceman was already there, so he turned back out. Iceman's got the move done. There's a little tap coming into the right-hander. We'll just open the door for Cats. Side by side in the last sector. I mean, these two have been side by side for 2 corners, and on the podium's gained 8 tenths already.
Yeah, he's quite some way back. But the more they keep squabbling, you never know. But Lennon is right on the back of Ross now in a battle for the final podium spot. And I can't see.
Podium's gained a second in the last sector.
Well, if he can manage to claw his way back up to a P6 or a P7, it's not actually going to be a terrible result for him.
Oh, the two Subaru teammates side by side into turn 1. They've lost 2 seconds to Switchback, so
they are scrapping. Yeah, well, I can't imagine that unsafe release is going to lose this unless he loses the car somewhere. We're looking at 2 more laps.
I mean, 2 more laps would make it 22, which would suggest that Simon can count.
Yep. Well, he's done enough.
That's for him to do the numbers. So.
Yeah. Well, he would have got to 18, then just quit.
Well, Iceman's managed to get a 1.2 now, a 1 second gap to his teammates, so that should stem the time loss that they've been losing on the podium.
Yeah, Lennon is putting Ross under all sorts of pressure. Does have more fuel as well. I don't think it's going to matter.
No, unsafe release is very sideways. He's still pushing on. I mean, he's got 11 seconds to close down in 2 laps. I don't think he's going to do it. I mean, he has set fastest lap, so he's pushing, but it's risk versus reward. Now, do you want to bin it trying to catch a gap that's unassailable, or just stay on track? Forum has responded.
Yeah, once it wasn't. Well, okay. Let's not get into that now.
Sai's happy that we've confirmed that he can count.
Yeah, well done, Si.
Lennon has made his way past Ross.
He has.
I don't think it's the end of this battle.
Ross going to take a look back.
Ross's tyres are in much better condition than Lennon's.
Yeah. It's about a lap and a half left for these two. Lennon has got a tiny bit of breathing space to Ross now. I mean, Lennon's tyres are in much worse shape than Ross.
I've known Lennon a long time. There's one thing he can't do is look after tyres. He's never been good at it. So.
Well, if there's one thing they can't do is think. It's just...
Unsafe release got a penalty. He's lifted off the serve it, so...
Yeah, I don't think he's under much threat. unless he makes a mistake. But the way his car's been going with some of his traction losses he's had, it wouldn't be the strangest thing in the world as Cornelius is coming around. He might have to do.
It's going to be tight.
Yeah.
146 a lap when he crossed the line with 145.
I reckon he's going to have to do it unless he just lifts off. There's no point in having to do another lap for no reason because the others aren't.
I mean, if he does do another lap, that means it's like can't count. So.
Yeah, then we can just slate Simon. Lennon pulls off, cover off the slipstream, moves back out towards the outside. Final lap of the race. Ross is now or never. He's got to pick his moment.
I said that now we just have to work on the driving part.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say you've got two things to work on, so like the driving part and the breathing part.
No, the braking part and the breathing part, I think the driving part's fine. Right, Ross pulls out to try and get a switch back on Lennon. Lennon's tyres, especially his front left, is screaming at him at this point. With them being super softs, they will not be feeling good. Ross is all over him. Now, where are we going to see the move? The most logical place will be at the hairpin at the end of the next straight. Ross does go a little bit deep. Ross needs a good run. He's literally kissing Lennon's arse. Ross might get a penalty for that. I'm not sure.
I don't want that picture in my head.
Is he going to switch to the inside? Yes, he does. He's picked himself up a 6/10 penalty, but he's through. Good move. Now he's just got a small matter of losing a half-second penalty.
Besides begging Cornelius to lift off. Zombie and
Ross is in the gravel. Ross has spun.
Cornelius has got to go another lap.
Ross has spun.
Oh no.
I mean, he managed to catch that very, very well, to be fair to him. He'd be gutted. Lennon almost got absolutely wiped by that.
Got second.
Yeah, unsafe release takes second. Lennon
podium.
Yeah, takes P3. Ross is going to be gutted with that, but still a P4 is a cracking result. Switch back with a very undeserved P5.
I mean, you can't really say drop zone 5 please, because there aren't that many. So.
No.
He's let Ben Shepherd down.
Nexus Iceman, Nexus Iceman deserves a huge amount of credit because he was literally facing backwards before it even started in this race, and he's finished P6 ahead of his teammate Nexus Cats.
Nexus Cats has done a donut over the line.
Onto the podium coming round to finish in P8. He won't be too pleased with that. And Goy Karp come around to pick up a P9. So,
I mean, that'd be points in F1. So.
Yeah, 2 decent point scoring finishes for Goy tonight.
It'll take Mercedes-Benz out of the negative. So.
Yeah, but he's picked up 5 points in this race, and he's picked up. Where did he finish in the first race? Was it 4th or 5th?
Yeah, well, Kawandi and Zombie both lifted to try and make Catalunya didn't have to do another lap. Unfortunately, they finished across the line straight after Cornelius, so they both have to do another lap.
There we go. So we'll go on board.
Andy's managed to jump Zombie.
Well, Comandy's actually in the gravel now. Not having the best of times.
Well, Cornelius comes round the last corner.
Takes his race win. 2 wins out of 4 for Cornelius, and he will continue at the top of the championship, but he would have lost points tonight to unsafe release and to Lennon because he had a poor finish in race number 1. Zombie crosses the line, and that completes this week's GT Sport races. We'll go through the final classifications in just a second. But Pagani, who's your driver of the day today? We'll take both races into consideration, but who are you going to go for?
I think first race, even though he didn't win, I'd probably go for Max.
Yeah.
He was very quick in that race. Second race, I'm going to give it to unsafe just for the way he was flinging that Mazda about. Yourself?
Well, I'm going to go. I'll go Max for race 1, and I'm going to go Nexus Iceman for race 2, purely on the basis that he's recovered to a P6 after basically being backwards at the start due to Deluxe unfortunate lack of luck. For want of a better phrase.
It's a bit unfortunate having luck in your username and then having no luck whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully it works out a bit better for him next week. But listen, please join us tomorrow evening. We have got the next 2 rounds of the GT1 Championship, where we are at Goodwood for the Group 4 race, which should be just a massive train of people, I would imagine. And then there's going to be some grass cutting, there's going to be huge FTRL trains, and in Group 3 race we're going to be at Fuji, which is where the GT2 boys were last week, and that proved to be a cracker. So if there's anything like last time, me and Pagani were 0.004 of a second apart crossing the line at Fuji at the end of the race, to which I lost, because I know you're going to get that in there, Pagani. So
hopefully it's the same way this time. So
yeah, please come and join us tomorrow night for that one at 8 o'clock, and make sure you all leave your abuse in the stream chat for Lee and Frome if he gets that far. And we will thank you very much for watching this evening. The numbers have been fantastic once again. Hope it's been entertaining enough for you guys, and we will see you next week. All the best and good night.